Hello everyone, welcome back. Finally, we are live again. Today we are designing something super duper cool, something that I am so sure you've seen from the thumbnail of this video. But we are designing a super duper cool text effect UI design. This is definitely one of those advanced UI designs, something that you can place on your portfolio and something that will give you the edge when compared to your competition when it is a project on your portfolio. So I am super duper excited about this today. Again, all of the images, all of the assets, everything that we're using for this design is available on the Discord group. If you are not a member of the Discord group yet, what are you doing? Go to the live chat, get your invite to the Discord group, download all of the assets for today's UI design. Currently we are on 100 days of UI design challenge, which is about us designing super cool UIs for 100 days straight. All of the assets, all of the images, everything that we're using while making this app, while making all of these apps on this stream, can be found on the Discord group completely for free. So make sure to join in. And now let's just get started with what we have planned for today. Let's just jump right into our demo for today. And I'm just going to make myself disappear. I hope I have disappeared. Now that I have disappeared, this is amazing. Let's just zoom in to what we've planned for today. Alright, so this is what we've planned for today. This is a super duper awesome. While we're doing this, can you just say hi in the chat, everybody? Because we've been back after such a long time and it is so awesome to see all of you. Such an amazing day. Again, so what so this is again a very, very cool, amazing, animated, super duper awesome UI design. And the best part about today's UI design is the way it animates as soon as you hover over it. This is, hold on, am I echoing? I should fix the echo. Probably I think I opened myself up. No worries, I am back again. So this is the UI design that we're doing today. The reason this is so special is because it has this amazing, awesome animated effect, super duper fun, the way it just jumps, the way it animates. This was something that previously I saw most of the advanced UI designers doing, but the fact that we could do it ourselves is an interesting recent discovery. Let's just jump right into what we've planned for today. Okay, so the way we're going to get started is we are going to go to the Discord group, which if you haven't joined yet, what are you doing? Oops, let's just go to the live chat, get your link from the Discord group. This is present right here. You can join in to the Discord group, and we'll just go to the 100 days of UI design assets section, and you can download all of the images, all of the assets, everything that we're doing. Say hi in the chat, everybody. This is super duper cool, and we'll just download all of the images that we have. So again, super interesting UI design, super interesting assets, download everything. If you want to make something like this on your own, these images have their backgrounds removed. If you want to remove backgrounds for images yourself, you can just use the background remover at Photo Room. It's the best background remover I've found that is completely free. Most other background removers which use AI will most probably charge you after a specific number of images. So this is a really good starting point from there. If you haven't downloaded Figma, download Figma. It's at figma.com/downloads. Download Figma. I've said this 30 times already, so I'm just not going to this time. And we'll open a completely new design file, click on Ctrl+Shift+K, which reminds me, we are finally working on a Figma for the very first time on this stream with Figma AI and all of those other super cool tools. If you guys have used Figma AI, just let me know in the comments, because I did and I was a little disappointed. We'll get into Figma AI at some point in one of these videos, but again, there is the established fact that AIs usually improve after a while, and hopefully that will make this journey smoother. But Figma AI in its current state is not as glorious as I had imagined, which is quite a bummer, but I'm pretty sure it will improve as most other products by Figma have. So I do have high hopes still. Let's just jump right back in. So we've got all of our images removed with the backgrounds. If you want to remove your own backgrounds, use the background remover at Photo Room. No, this is not sponsored. It's just the best background remover I've found up until now for UI design. And let's just start with our first frame. So we're just going to do this simple style. Since this is a desktop UI, it is wider than it is high, and the standard resolution for 1000 pixel desktop UIs, most common desktops, is 1920 by 1080 pixels. So that's going to be the width and height. Very, very simple stuff. Nothing complicated about this at all. And now we're going to start taking all of these images, copy and paste these, which reminds me, Figma recently launched a whole Control D special feature, which I am yet to see. Oops, what happened? I think the image duplicates itself. I just clicked on Control D and this accidentally happened. Let's just try Control D, because I did plan on initially. Check this out. This is so cool. We have a bunch of weird Control D induced rotated images. Let's just ditch this. I was just having fun. Anyways, I was planning on initially redesigning a site from the 6 p.m. streams right now, but I ended up not doing that because it turns out, surprise, surprise, the font family and the images that were supposed to be loaded on that site did not load while we were streaming for some crazy internet issues. And after I ended the stream, I ended up checking out the site, and turns out it was pretty good. So I just decided to not do it, which is quite the bummer. Anyways, this UI design in itself, let's just jump right back in, is very, very simple. The first thing that we're talking about is this blob, which basically covers half of the screen. There is a little bit of text. You could use any font family, any common text you wanted, nothing special about it at all. The thing that we are looking for specifically today is this super cool text effect, which just animates in every single time these weird fonts that are always there. We did do a UI with these fonts previously, which was for 3 birds. It was actually a super cool UI. We are just doing a variation on it, but this is slightly different in terms of technical UI design, complexities, fancy words. Let's just create a very, very simple blob. So you're just going to drag and drop it. Very, very simply create a very, very nice blob. If you're not comfortable with creating blobs, you can just experiment around with either the pen tool or get one of those SVG blob generators, either in sites format or in the blob generator plugins that we have in Figma, which are also quite nice, quite easy. And so both of those are equally effective options. I'm just going to really, really quickly place these guys inside of the frame. And again, the way this works is it has 2 states. So all of these images, all of these UIs have 2 states, one of which is before delay, when there is nothing present. If you just look at it really carefully, you will see these texts come in, and one of these is after the font actually comes in. So it has to shift in from the left side, and that animates from delay. So we'll just shift it towards the left side. Make sure to change the color of the blob, add a fill, say hi in the chat, everyone, because we are here after such a long time. Let's just place this really, really quickly behind this image, because of course you want your blob to be behind your image. This is the current state that we're designing for, is before the frame has animated, before the whole thing has completed its animation. So right now the image is obviously going to be shifted towards the center naturally. Again, this is our initial state. Very, very simple stuff. I think most complexity starts to enter in after we've already made the whole thing, after we start animating. So we're just going to shift this right here, and now we're going to start adding a little bit of the text. If you are not sure on what text to use, you could just use the lorem ipsum font generator. I'm just going to really, really quickly copy and paste some of the text that we have here. You can use any text that you want, or you can use the lorem ipsum generator, which I am a big fan of. Welly asks, why the long break? My mic, this beautiful fellow right here, decided to go on a self-decided long vacation, and this was actually an interesting story. This mic basically was causing us a lot of problems. People on stream said so themselves, and then this just decided not to work one day, and then I figured out what was wrong with it. So this is a pretty expensive mic, and I'm cheap, so I didn't want to buy it again. So I decided to figure out what was wrong with it, and it turns out something was wrong with it on the insides, on the little components that are present. So I just had to figure out what component it was, went to a site for robotics, ordered, since they are mass producers, I basically had to order 10 pieces to get one, and then got the part that was wrong resoldered, opened this whole guy up, and did a whole crazy repair thing with it. So it was just one crazy thing after the other happening. We might make a video on it at some point, but it was a fun couple of days. We just had to get one thing repaired after the next. And also, lights in this setup are now working, which weren't working previously. Audio echoed previously, and that had to be figured out as well. So we just had so many things to sort out. I am so glad all of that is behind us now. But again, this is the text that we're placing. You can place any text here, and I'm not getting into a lot of detail here because obviously placing text using any fonts you want is just simple stuff. Today we are focused on the more advanced effects that are pertaining to this UI. So now that we have that out of the way, I would want to place this a little bit inside, because for some reason this half visible blob just gives it such a nice effect. And now we are going to start with our text. So this is where our text effect, the one that we were designing for, where half of it is visible, half of it is not visible, starts to work in. So the font that we're using for today's super special effect is Outfit. And now we're just going to basically get all of the separate alphabets used for the word orchid, for the flower that we have here, and we're just going to break them apart and also give it a pretty huge font size. Let's just sort of try to shift it around, and again, this is where the fun stuff actually starts. So we're just going to get separate alphabets and just copy and paste them all along. Oops, let's just keep on typing. Again, if you guys have any questions related to UI UX design, do not forget to leave them in the chat. And also, if you are not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Subscribe now. All of the assets, everything that we use on all of these UI design live streams is available for free on the Discord group. So if you haven't joined the Discord group yet, this is me asking you to. Alright, so I'm just trying to type stuff out, and turns out typing is a really hard thing to do. Who would have thought? Let's just place all of the alphabets. Again, this is why it's really weird. I don't really have a mouse on this stream right now set up due to lack of USB ports. Yay! And I'm just trying to get different characters in right now. You can place them wherever you like. It truly doesn't matter as long as you've positioned your alphabets in a legible order. So we've just placed all of our alphabets randomly now. And this is where the cool effect starts to happen. So for the parts of the flower that are in front of our alphabets, there is a stroke transparent alphabet that's visible. But for the parts that are behind the alphabet, this white section is visible. So that is going to be the true challenge here. Turns out tackling that is a really simple thing to do. So we're just going to select all of our alphabets, again, ninja trick time, and copy and paste them here once again. Now we're going to select all of the 6 that we've just replicated, add a stroke outside, and maybe give it a fill of 15, change the color to white. And you know what, let's just send it to center, and that should hopefully make our jobs a whole lot easier. Now we're going to select all of the characters that we were not selecting previously and drag them behind everything else. And I don't know if this did the trick. I think it did not do the trick. All of these alphabets, turns out, need to have a stroke outside so that they don't clash. And now we're just going to select all of our characters, alphabets, everything in between, and send it to a specific position. I like this place. I like where it is placed. And you can also change the thickness of all of these fonts at once. Just make sure everything has the same thickness. This actually looks kind of cool, looks kind of good. I might want to make all of these thinner still. Let's just keep on reducing the boldness. Today we are designing a super duper cool font effect UI design that we usually don't see online, but is actually a super duper cool effect, completely from scratch, completely for beginners. So make sure to click on the like button if you like what we're doing here. Alright, so this is, let's just reduce the font size here as well, because this turns out to be still pretty large. Alright, and now that we have both of these states sorted out, this is when we are starting to do the fun stuff. This is when we start animating. We're going to go to the prototype section and click on interactions, and now this is going to be triggered after delay of maybe 800 milliseconds. That seems fine. You're going to navigate to the second frame, which is frame 2. This navigation style is going to be to smart animate, and the curve is going to be bouncy because you want there to be a back and forth, visible back and forth. The duration once again is going to be 800 milliseconds, and let's just start animating this now. This should hopefully give us a really good idea of what we're doing, why we're doing this. Check it out, you guys. Such a cool animated feature, such a cool way of zooming in. Now if you notice, there is a little bit of weird abruptness to this. There is a little bit of weird appearance of the fonts. If you want to get rid of that, you are going to have to group all of these together. So just take all of them, make a single group out of them, Control G, and export them as an image, and then you're going to sort of re-export it back into IUI. So we're going to export this image now with a name, group 2. Just save it wherever you have your images saved, and also now we're going to replace this image with the image that we've just saved. What this is going to do is this is going to give us a much smoother animation curve. All of the fonts are not going to appear suddenly, abruptly. They're not going to make a whole thing weird. So let's just see what happens now. So we're just going to restart the animation. Check it out, you guys. What is going on? This doesn't seem to be normal. This is called, alright, so this is the group naming issue. Let's just name this flower orchid. And let's just go right here, and also, you know what, why do we have a group here? Let's just delete this group, and also click on Ctrl+Shift+K, get ourselves this image back again. Let's get our group, place this right here. Today we're designing a super duper cool text effect, perfect for beginners in UI design, perfect for your portfolios, just the perfect addition to your UI design tutorial, your UI design portfolio as a beginner. Let's just rename this back again to Orchid, and now you are going to see the magic start to happen. This is super duper cool. We just started streaming 15 minutes ago, and this is already working. Wow, let's just duplicate this a bunch of other times, and we will have created for ourselves a super duper nice slider. Let's just copy and paste these once again. And now we're just going to change our colors depending on the next thing that we're doing. This next UI is going to be the orchid slide. So this is going to have the classic orange color associated with it. And now we're going to, sorry, this is not orchid. What is this? This is, what do you call this flower? I just forgot the name of this flower. This is called gladiolus. So we are just going to have to, Raj asks where I got the Figma AI feature. I think it shipped to me automatically. Maybe I signed up for the waitlist. Maybe I did something to trigger that. I think I did. I think I signed up somewhere. Not entirely sure where I signed up anymore, but I did sign up for it. And now that they have shipped, I think I was on the waitlist for this. I think I was. The AI feature, you know what? After this UI is done, we'll use the AI feature, because in the middle of a design, the AI feature doesn't really have much to work with. So after we're done with this design, we can try to do something with the AI feature. I did sign up for the waitlist. I do remember signing up a really long time ago. That was many months ago. Do they wait. Actually, they do. I think they do wait for a really long time. We'll see the AI feature in its full function. It is actually very disappointing, so don't have high hopes. But do stick around because I want to show you the whole disappointment in full stream. So let's just get this out of the way. I think this is an amazing, the design that we're doing is an amazing addition to any beginner in UI design sort of portfolio. It just has all of the elements of complexity for beginners in UI design, for your first project as a UI designer, for something that you're just now placing on your portfolio. This is just the perfect project for it. It has a lot of simplicity, and yet it does look sophisticated enough to put in somewhere. So we're just really quickly getting all of our alphabets. Just select all of your alphabets as at once, copy and paste them back again. I think you can just change whatever alphabet you want wherever. Glad D, you know what, let's just do caps lock I O L U S. Let's just wait around and see. The Figma AI feature right now does a couple of things. It allows you to generate first wireframes, but the reason I say I'm always disappointed right now, at least in its current state, is because of how rudimentary everything that it's generating is, which is quite understandable. Maybe it's just reminiscent of the beginner in UI design stage for me, but it's just really early to say that it's advanced enough to replace anyone's job right now. So it's not threatening at all, and that doesn't mean it won't be, but who knows at this point. Let's just right click and send this whole group to the back, send this vector behind everything as well. And now we're just going to take this whole font group, copy and paste it again, select it and bring it in front of our image, remove its fill, increase the stroke, set it to outside, change the thickness to 10, and change the color of the font to white once again. Check this out, super duper cool stuff. And now we're just going to take all of these alphabets and an additional image, group it all together, export it as an image. Let's just really quickly get this thing going. This is a simple UI design, nothing complicated about it today, but this is definitely portfolio worthy material. Let's just get rid of our previous UI, get this image completely centered. Oops, get this image centered on the page. This works perfectly. And now we're just going to go right here, click on this image, upload from computer. Oops, I'm on the screen. Wow. Let me remove myself. Now I'm not on the screen anymore. Yay. Let's just open our image back again. This is the gladiolus image. I think this just resized and went out of hand, so we'll just have to fix it once again. Let's change our image back again. I know this seems like a boring UI, but this is one of those quintessential, very required kind of UIs. If fit doesn't work for you, fill will. If fill doesn't work for you, fit will. Those are two things you can always go back and forth with. So I'm just going to get titles now because I don't want to type anything out. You can use the lorem ipsum generator. You could get ChatGPT to generate some text for you. You could copy and paste it. You could type it out. You could do a bunch of things with it, or you could just request it in the asset section in the Discord group, and we'll be happy to give you the whole text file. Again, within 20 minutes of streaming, we've achieved 2 of the 3 different pages that we were supposed to, and also there is going to be a prototype from here to here, so that when you click on this, you go to the next screen, but this is going to be very simple. On click navigate. Let's just get 2 other frames, and then that'll be it. Then we can hopefully get into some Figma AI, some of the cool stuff that we do there. And the last UI that we're doing has pink at its center, so we're just going to have to look at pink as well. Let's just get the prototypes done, so that as soon as we are done with the design, we can see our whole design in action right then and there. Let's select all of the colors, and also change the colors to pink. You can use any shade of pink as long as you're sure it looks good with the image that we're using. Again, if you don't have these images, you can find all of these images in the Discord group. Make sure to join the Discord group. A complete 100 different days of assets can be found on the Discord group. Let's just get rid of it. Let's change the color to darker pink, and we can get our image here as well. Again, this is going to be a simpler one because this is just 4 alphabet long lily. Oops, let's just zoom this in, place it inside, and I think this shade of pink actually does look good, even though it's surprisingly brighter than our previous shades and the previous differences we had. I think this does look good, but again, I might change the pink a little bit still. One of the most difficult things to get right with this pink is this shade of green, so you want this green to work with this pink, even if the pink isn't the perfect pink for this pink. So hopefully all of that color talk makes sense. And now we are at our last leg. I highly suggest to anyone who's watching, I highly suggest actually making one of these in your actual, oh wow, I lost my actual font sizes. Anyways, I actually suggest you making this in your portfolio. This is a very, very simple, short 20-30 minute long project which you can get done super quickly, and you can just place on your portfolio, and it's just going to be a banger right from the start. So this is great stuff for your portfolio and great stuff to get you hired. Let's just send this to a bold setting, place the first alphabet right here, copy and paste it. You know what, I'm happy with the fact that this is what is going on. Let's just get rid of this section. I'm happy with the fact that it's behind, because we have to place all of these alphabets behind anyways. So if time is saved that way, I'm fine with it. Oops. There is so much cool stuff happening in the world of UI design right now. It's just the most exciting, amazing time to be a UI designer ever alive. And also, so much has changed in the last 5 years over UI design that I feel like that deserves a video on it as well. Like, you could do a whole video on how much has just changed in the world of UI design, and how everything is just like 4 years ago. I don't think, even though 4 years ago ChatGPT and stuff like that, I don't think they existed in their current state at least, but the way AI is impacting UI design now is something that you wouldn't have ever been able to accurately imagine, I believe, 4 years ago. So it's just so much stuff that has changed over a while, and so much super duper cool stuff that's just happening now. Let's just get this to a 10. Why is this so thick? We can change it to 8 if 10 doesn't look good, or 6. This actually looks quite cool. I think I might change the shade of pink a little bit. Let's just get a shade from the leaf, and then we can hopefully work with it a little bit to make it perfect. This looks great, and now we are going to export this image along with all of these. We're just going to get these in a group and export them with the title Lily, and get ourselves a separate image too. So we're just going to export this as Lily, go right here, change this color to pink, just get it from the color box, go right here, change this image to Lily, upload from our computer, and get our Lily image. And also change this text back here again. So if you don't have the text, get yourself some text. We're just going to change these titles: Lily's Unbelievable but Real, and that's just going to be it as far as the typing is concerned. I don't want to spend a lot of time typing stuff out, and I believe with that, let's just make the pink darker, and that's pretty much it. So within like 30 minutes of streaming, we've made something, actually 29 minutes of streaming, we've made something pretty darn impressive. Let's see what our labor has brought us. Let's just see. So this is an awesome animated amazing UI that just is the perfect thing for your portfolio. It has bouncy animated effects, it just jumps in itself. You could tweak around with the prototypes section, you could tweak around with the delay interactions a little bit, you could make the curve maybe more or less bouncy, you could do a custom spring, and that should make things definitely interesting as well. You could try a little bit on the custom strings front, and this I am interested to see what happens when you go from here to here. So let's see what this does. Let's just go back to the starting and see what this is. Check this out, you guys. This is just jumping back and forth. You could take your while, experiment around with it, and that should be it for this project. Again, for all of you wonderful people watching, I'm just going to quickly share this prototype with everyone, and then we're going to get into Figma AI. Let's share this right here in the chat, and you can basically find it, view it, have some fun with it, join us here. And the next thing that we're talking about is Figma AI. Let's talk about Figma AI. So Figma AI is a recent new tool that has just been launched by Figma quite recently, and it does a lot of the things that UI UX designers do. It does a lot of the things that the average user of Figma does on a daily basis, tries to automate it, tries to get AI into it, and it does a pretty good job with very bare bone, very basic wireframes. But I do have some concerns with it. Let's just try and see what I'm talking about. So as soon as you start, you see a couple of options here. If you are not sure on what Figma AI is yet, if your glitter section says AI, and I don't even know what to call it, I think this is the actions section. If your actions section has any options with AI beta attached to it, that is an AI feature. The first feature that I want to talk about with Figma AI is called first drafts. You can, on the first draft section, describe what kind of a site it is you want to make. Let's talk about a cafe site. Use the make the prototype in the UI we just made. All right, let's do a fancy, I don't know if it can actually get the actual text effect that we're making, because it is quite fancy. Let's try to see what Figma AI would do if it made the prototype that we just did. Let's just go right here, click on first draft, and write what your AI is going to make. So now we're going to make fancy text effect UI design. I'm just very rudimentarily describing the stuff that we've made. Fancy UI design flower slider. I hope that's descriptive enough for Figma AI. I'm not even sure on how close it gets, but I hope to see something more fanciful come out of it. Let's just give it some time to work. Again, I don't know what it'll make yet, but check this out. So we just made, this is actually not the worst thing in the world. It is quite neat, but the way it does texts is quite weird. Definitely, it made a complete site, which is great, but I believe the whole slider aspect of it isn't as slidery as we'd like. So you could definitely do some crazy things. Let's just see what other Figma AI features we have, and then we can start to in the UI. Raj asks to, we'll do that as well. I'll get to it in a second. I just want to break down what would happen over here. So now that it has, so what Figma AI has made for us right now is a very simple basic wireframe. I just want to break this down a little bit. This is a very simple wireframe. In the video that we just did, we were focused on having fancy slider effects, but it's just so difficult to have any sort of fancy advanced effects happen whatsoever. So it's just going to give us a simple image slider presentation, PowerPoint style, nothing complicated at all. The navigation bar is comparatively neat, but it's quite common to see. Like I've seen this probably 1,000 times in this year, so this isn't the most special one, but it's quite neat. The fonts that it's using here are quite casual as well, which is great for a flower slider UI. But I've seen Figma AI design weird funny fonts for pretty serious websites as well, so I'm not going to comment on that too much. These are the spaces that it puts for text, which is quite cool, but it for example, for some reason it's so dark that it just gets heavy on the eyes. Maybe there's just a lot of text present here. You could place an image here, but they've just placed a spacer here for some reason, and then they've also given us a footer here. This is a pretty neat UI, but nothing complicated per se. Very, very basic UI design stuff happening. All right, let's just see what make prototype would do. Let's try make prototype with this guy. So we've selected the first few top level. I don't think make prototype would work here because we don't have a couple of different frames, but just to see what it would do for a couple of different frames, let's just select all of these frames. And what is going on here? What did I make? Oops, let's just get this fixed. Let's just delete whatever this was, and now we're going to click right here and click on make prototype. Let's see what level of prototyping Figma AI can do. So it has done something. I'm not even sure. I think it just what did this just do? I think the things that it did just basically clashed with what I already did. So I'm just going to go to a separate screen and then try to remove all of these different fancy prototype effects. Hopefully it does something a little bit more accurately. For it to have any level of prototype effects present, it needs to basically remove all the prototype effects that are already present, so had to get rid of those. And now we're going to see what make prototype does with Figma AI. So I think this is still going to go from one frame to the other. It isn't, you know what, it did detect these images going here, but it didn't connect. I think it's done. Let's just keep it. And now we're just going to start to preview what it already made. So I think at its very, very core, Abhinand says hi, hello, welcome. Today we're looking at a super duper cool UI and also Figma AI and what it does. So Figma AI basically detected this image and this image, detected that they have the same name, and then they just linked them up together. But I do want to see what it does, what Figma AI does. So this is the first 6 are ones that these are the from 10 to 12 from 7 to 12 are the ones that Figma prototyped for us. So we're going to go to a different page and we're going to now see what Figma AI prototyped for us, how good it is. I don't really have high hopes because it just does the very rudimentary stuff, links stuff together. Let's just see what happens. So just this is the prototyping from Figma AI. It just what did it do? It just linked them up like PowerPoint presentations. This is disappointing. This is my absolute reaction to this, because it just linked these up like PowerPoint presentations. Nothing is going on here whatsoever. Like, why is this so weird? Like, this just looks like one image after the other. So prototyping is not, I wouldn't give it more points than 1 or 2. 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10 if I'm being generous, 1.5 out of 10 if I'm being honest. Very, very low prototyping points. Nothing special happens. I did like the fact that it detected that this first image and this second image are the same images, linked it together. I didn't even hope for that, honestly. But again, wireframing is the place where it does plain average wireframes, beginner UI design sort of wireframes. So I don't see myself using Figma AI right now in its current state very, very practically, because of the stuff I already designed, because of it being a little bit more complex than where Figma AI is currently at. But I do understand completely that AI improves with time and AI improves with data. So it would be nice to see what this progresses into. It would be nice to see this AI just completely design actual real world UIs, which I'm not sure it does right now. We're trying to we'll cover one more final thing that I want to look at. Figma AI makes images right now. So let's just get it to generate a flower image. The other day I tried to design a movie site, but every single image that Figma AI generated, they just took it away, they blocked it for some reason because it got copyrighted for some reason. So it's just getting copyrighted images right now, movie images and stuff, it just generates weird images. Like Leonardo AI is a much better place for image generation right now, but again, let's hope it does better, more fanciful stuff in the future. Let's truly hope for that. It's working, and I hope it generates a couple of good images. Why did it not generate this image in front of this box? I'm just going to have to hide this box now. Again, check out this image. It's quite a disappointment, honestly, considering the fact that I come from a place of designing a lot of images from Leonardo AI. This is a step down from that. A lot of what it does offer us a couple of options. I think the second one is a little bit better, but all of these are low resolution, so that's another consideration. Anyways, this is it on this. This looks like a pretty average small UI. Maybe you could change it up a little bit, but I don't know if it's portfolio material yet. I don't know if it's new fancy production material yet. Very, very basic wireframing stuff, very, very basic prototyping stuff, and absolutely sort of below industry level image generation stuff, which is quite understandable since this is just so new right now. So again, Figma AI right now is in very basic, very rudimentary stages. I don't think this is the version that takes over anyone's jobs, but always AI has threats of sort of try understanding departments that only humans could previously. So I do want to see what this progresses into. I do want to see what this grows up to be. If you guys have any comments on what you thought of this, I think I signed up for some waitlist somewhere, maybe of Figma AI, maybe something else. But if you guys have any comments on what you think this works like, just really quickly let me know. I think right now it's still very, very basic for us to be scared of it yet. Like quite recently, I like the way Figma introduced this and the way the initial videos and stuff were coming. This is a step down from that. A little disappointing. I was having high hopes, I always do. But this is it on the Figma AI front. Today we designed a super duper cool portfolio level, super awesome text animation effect UI design, very, very simply for Figma, in Figma for beginners. You can just check it out, build it out. We did it in like 30 minutes, which is awesome. And then for the last 10, we covered Figma AI and the way it works. So that is it for today's super duper cool, super duper awesome video. If you liked this video, make sure to like it, make sure to subscribe, make sure to join our Discord group for all of the images that we use in the 100 days. I will be back tomorrow again as well, because the mic is now fixed. Hooray! I will be back tomorrow. We will design awesome sites, and also we will review awesome sites, which we do now at 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time and at 8 p.m. where we design all of this stuff Indian Standard Time again. I'll see you. Keep designing. Be safe. Bye.